Okay, this is going to be the 3 MUFON reports explained in 5 minutes. So basically, the first report here is from Daniel Snow at MUFON, February 15th, 2015. And he basically says that upon review of your photos attached to the third submission, these are shots of the street lamp. Where is the object you saw? So I gave him a video, but he's not mentioning that much. So basically, he says that he has this street lamp gridded out at F8, and he has what he's going to call, and that's F8 down there. That's the UFO. He's going to call that a street lamp, but there's also this jet, which is starting right here, number 2. It should be number 1 where it starts, and then it ends up here at number 2 because it's a jet that's outbound. But they call it a satellite, and they call it inbound. So they say it starts actually way up here. Here's where the video starts, and it's cascading across the sky and disappears. They call it the International Space Station as well. But that's all just a big lie. So he just concludes with his little conclusion story that basically he says witness provided snapshots with analysis JPEGs along with case 63339, but all are of the street lamp in lower right corner of video. And this was called a hoax keystroke by Daniel J. Snow out of MUFON, Chief Field Investigator 16776. So basically, I don't need this jet in the background looked at, whatever they're calling it. And they failed this report huge. So then it goes to, we look at the next report I give over 2020, August 24th. I give this to Doug Wilson out of MUFON. And he says, basically, he says, if this case were reported to me, I would conclude that it is a hoax. And then he goes on with his little story where he can see the edits of the screenshots, and he's not fooled by the images. And he calls this whole thing a hoaxed up image. Well, here's the UFO, this big bright light up here. And he doesn't even look at the video. So he just looks at another picture that I sent of the Mercury light in 2015. So when he puts a Mercury light next to the UFO on video that I send a still shot of, again, he's looking at photos and he says they're one and the same. They're basically one and the same, but they're not. There's a difference. One has a building, the other doesn't. There's main differences. And he's not looking at that. So then I go to a person called Ken St. John. Ken St. John here, September 3rd, 2020. I tell him, here's the embedded video. Check it out. So he says, wow, there's an urgency, basically. So he ends up pausing the video, and he looks at the UFO, but he calls it a street lamp. He has further enhancement where he calls it a street lamp in the, you can see that there. It's a street lamp in the lower right corner. So that's not too helpful to me. But he can see the jet way up there, that little dot, and that's the jet. And we don't need that. You see, these are all scams. And we don't need these things. So these are the MUFON reports that are scams. And he ends up just saying, oh, yeah, he's like, look at that. You have some blinking light out there blinking at these intervals of 17 seconds in and 18 seconds in. And he's like, oh, that's a anti-collision light, an aircraft running light. And so I don't need that looked at. So basically, these reports are a scam. Well, thank you for paying attention. And please get the book Mock UFO by Mike Brown at Amazon Kindle to explain more. Thank you very much.